Hi, and welcome to our Elementor 3.8 event, our 5th episode already of our Elementor live show series, which is the place to get a look inside Elementor and experience the latest and the greatest we have to offer firsthand from our very own product managers and experts. And most importantly, it gives you the stage to ask your questions live in the chats, or if you're up for it, hop on a video call live with us in the studio. More on that soon. I am Ziv, a web creator and Elementor's customer success release manager, and joining us today is Gabriela. Welcome.
Hi.
She is one of our talented senior product marketing managers here at Elementor, and she played a very big part in this release. So let's welcome her to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
It's glad to have you. Gabby, what she will be doing is give us a walkthrough of the new features and also provide interesting insights and answer many of your questions live here with us. So welcome and good luck. All right, our second guest is Doron. Welcome, Doron.
How you doing?
Doron is our lead Elementor expert and part of the talented library team, making sure that we all get the best templates and full website kits to get inspired and to kickstart projects. So welcome to the show.
Hi, happy to be here.
Awesome having you. Doron will provide some interesting use cases and help answer your questions too. Okay, so what is on the menu for today? We'll start with the eagerly awaited loop builder, and what we'll do is we'll go over the basics and we'll check out some real-life examples. And then after a round of questions, we'll continue with the Flexbox Containers update. What we'll do then is check out the new remove kit feature, and lastly, hear a little bit about the updated release mechanism and have a final round of questions. Okay, since we are live streaming this event also on Facebook and YouTube, we will choose questions from those live chats. And if you're up for it, you can ask your questions live here with us in the studio via video call. All you need to do is just follow the link you see on the screen, and we'll be in touch. I've also added this link in the event notes, so just be sure to check that out. You'll see the link over here on the screen. Let's have a look. There we go. There's the link. You can follow that, and we'll take it from there. And since we're celebrating Elementor 3.8, participants who asked questions in the chat or via video, they'll be entered into a raffle to win an awesome prize, and I'll announce the winner at the end of the event. All right, let's do this. Let's start with the Loop Builder, which is a feature for web creators who build dynamic websites and want the power to customize the display of the posts, listings, portfolios, products, and a lot more. Gabby, could you please walk us through it?
Yeah, so the Loop Builder is a great feature for those of you who are building dynamic websites that have a lot of content in them and you want to show your listings using dynamically. So you can, with the Loop Builder, you can build the main item template. So you're going to design it however you'd like to. And then you're going to be able to show your posts, your products, whatever it is, whatever content you choose to share. And you can design it however you like. So contrary to the current capabilities you have the posts widget and the products widget, and those come with a few pre-designed skins. And that's a great starting point for those of you just getting started, or if you're happy with the design that those provide. But with the Loop Builder, you can really customize that and take it to wherever your imagination leads. What else is really great about it is that you currently have a few widgets that do stuff that are kind of similar. So you have the posts and products widgets that we mentioned, but you also have the portfolio widget, for example. And with the Loop Builder, you can create one template for each of those and then choose the content you want to populate it on different pages. Or you can create a number of different templates. And then if you choose to then edit those, that becomes really easy because you can go to one source. You can edit your the loop or the loop grid template.
Right.
And then that carries over to the entire website. So it's very easy to customize from one place.
Cool. And you're going to show us how we can get started with that. Can you mention a couple of other benefits that the Loop Builder gives us?
Yeah, so the Loop Builder works very similar to a lot of other Elementor features. So it's a very short learning curve for those of you who are already familiar with Elementor and how it works. And also, if you're customizing your loops or your listings, you don't have to use another plugin to do that anymore. So you can use Elementor on its own, and that's really good for performance, and it reduces incompatibility issues.
Okay, that's great. So maybe you can show us how to get started. Let's share your screen.
Yeah, Yeah, so if I go to the Elementor settings, I'm going to go to my experiments. Because this is currently dependent on containers, I'm going to have to activate my container and my loop. And then I'm going to go ahead and save those changes. And then if there are two places where I can create my main item template. So I can do that from the theme builder. So you can see here we have a new website asset here, loop item, and I can add a new loop right here. And that's going to take me to this area where I can create my main loop item in a clean canvas. But what I want to show you today is actually where you can use the loop grid widget, and then you can create your loop item on any page and just watch it as it contextually, as you design it contextually. Right. So if I drag in my loop grid right here, so this is, for example, on my services page, and I'm going to create a template. Let's save that. And then I'm going to drag these widgets in. So I can drag in my post title, I can drag in my featured image. I can also drag in static widgets, so I can drag in a divider just to enhance the design right here. And then if I go save and back, that's going to then pull the content that I'm connected to, so in this case, posts, and it's going to duplicate and populate that as you see here. And then if I were to look...
Sorry, yes, continue, please.
So then if I were to look at the loop grid widget itself, I can then adjust its layout, choose how many columns and rows I want to have on a page. I can choose a different query if I wanted to present something else, adjust the pagination, and it's a really quick starting point.
And this is all in the loop grid widget settings itself?
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us the demo, and maybe you can give us some insights, maybe future developments and things that we are planning.
Yeah, so in Elementor 3.9, which is already out in beta, so that's coming really soon, and you can try it out with a beta version if you'd like. We do have support for WooCommerce, so if you want to display your products, and also sections. So in 3.9, you won't necessarily be required to turn on the containers, although it is still recommended. 3.9 is also going to include equal height. That's not out in beta yet, but it will be out with 3.9. To use equal height efficiently, you are going to need to use the container and use the grow function on the different widgets to make sure that everything is aligned properly. Also, we're working on a loop carousel. So we have a lot of exciting updates coming up. So we're going to have some really good stuff.
Right. Thank you very much for the detailed overview and interesting insights. Now let's check out some real-life use cases. Dawn, you've prepared some really cool stuff for us based on existing kits from your library, from our library. So please go ahead.
Yeah, not my library. A lot of people are.
Well, that's a little bit your library.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Okay, so if you can see my screen, so yes, I used one of our favorite kits. It's called the Digital Agency kit. And as you can see, I'm using the loop builder to show you some cool layouts here. You have a sidebar. It's a sticky sidebar, and I have the same. Again, I'm showing the same posts, but in a different layout. So on the right side, I have the same posts, but they are looking differently. And but I want to let's try it out. Let's see it.
So this page has got two different loop grid widgets, one on the left and one on the right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And but you can see it's a different same content but different design. This is really the freedom that the loop builder enables you. So let's see it in action. Here, for example, I'm going to choose a simple loop that I prepared earlier. So very simple loop, similar to what Gabby did. As you can see, I have a featured image, the post title, some metadata like the date. Here I'm using the extract field to show some data, and a button. And obviously I have here a sidebar, so I think it will look much better if I use just two columns. And also, for example, if I don't want to show all those posts in one page, I can reduce the number of the items per page. And when doing that, I will probably want to go on to the pagination and turn on pagination. So user will be able to see more posts and browse between the posts. But what I really want to focus on is the query. So I think this is one of the most powerful features here. First of all, custom post types are now supported, and it will be listed here. Also, as Gabby mentioned, in 3.9, products will be supported. They'll have a different layout in the layout panel, and then you also be able to choose them from here. But I think the really cool thing is, even if you don't want to use a custom post type, you can still really filter and choose exactly what data you want to show. So here, for example, this is, it's an agency website, so they are showing their projects. But if, for example, I want to show a different type of content, so I can choose an author. If it was, if it was a news blog, then I can show certain author posts. I can use terms. So here, for example, any taxonomy that we have on the website will be good. So I'm going to choose a different category. I could choose a different tag, but let's choose different category. I have a testimonial category. And now, right away, you can see it's the same design, but a different content. So it's very, very powerful. But let's do it vice versa and go to the layout and choose a different layout. So I can choose, again, I prepared a different layout for this posts. So I have testimonial, and now it's looks completely different, and it's all dynamically, again, same content, but different design, or same design, but different content. Very, very powerful. But let's reset it and go back to the simple loop, so it will be much more easier to understand. I'm also going to reset the query. Okay, so we're seeing again the projects, and as you can see, I'm showing the same posts. And if it was a news blog, or again it's a project, I probably don't want to show the same posts twice in the same page. So here you see MFK and Hollandia and Softy and so on, and those are the same posts on the right side. So this is where the exclude really handy. So I can simply go for here, for example. I think the easiest solution will be to offset those three posts that I have here to offset on the right side. So I can simply do that, and there you have it. It enables me to, if it was a news website, it's really handy to, to show different kind of news, but to drive them from the same source using different filtering. Very powerful. Really cool. And if I really want to show just a few more stuff, so for example, because I'm gonna go a little bit down here and go inside this loop template. And I just want to show.
So what you're doing is you're editing that loop template in the page?
Within the page. Very straightforward, like I mentioned. If you know Elementor, you'll be really fast. You get to work with the loop builder. So here, for example, the only thing I did is added some border radius and bottom. Border radius and bottom border at the bottom, and it's give me a really different look. So the thing that I'm trying to point out is, you can tweak each element individually, not like you had in the post widget or portfolio widget. You had some skins, but here you have much more freedom. Here, for example, I'm going to use the scrubber, or maybe just type negative margin, and now the metadata is overlapping the featured image, and I can go on and on. But the thing is that you have really total design freedom. And I want to show even more advanced option, if I may.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so here, again, I'm using the same posts, but just showing different stuff, or in different design. So the fact that we are using the Flexbox container, it gives us flexibility. So here, for example, I just, inside a parent container, I just put side by side two containers, and I put the featured image on the left side. And there you have it. You have a completely different design. Again, the same content. But the only thing different here is I used different widgets. So here, I just want to point out that I can use whatever widget I want, not just the recommended one. I can use, again, I can drag an image, just for example. Everything that has the dynamic tag icon is usable. I can, if it wasn't, I could put a author profile picture, for example, if I wanted to. Oh, sorry about that. And let's delete that. But the really neat thing, I think, is now that we also support custom fields. It could be native custom fields of WordPress. It could be third-party plugins like ACF or pods and so on. And I want to show you how it works. So here, for example, I'm jumping in for a moment to my WordPress dashboard into the posts, and I'm going to edit the first post. And if you don't know where the custom fields are, it's a little bit hidden, but it's a very powerful feature. So you can go to the preferences and go to panels, and to the bottom, turn the custom fields on.
And these are native custom fields, so
yeah,
without any third-party plugin.
And no need to yes, those are the native ones. They are free from WordPress. They come inside the box. And if you scroll down, you will see them. So here I already created a few of them. So because it's a portfolio website, so they're showing the project. So I created, budget and client and email and industry, whatever I want. You can create as much as you want and populate each one with the value that you want them to show. And now we can see, if I go back to the editor, you can see I'm retrieving that data inside the loop. So let's see it in action. If for example, I use the icon list again, any widget that has an icon and the icon of the dynamic tags will work. So if I used a third-party plugin, it would probably be at the bottom, but I'm using the native custom field, so I'm just choosing post custom field. And let's, for example, choose, as you can see, all those fields that I created are populated here. So I'm gonna go with budget, okay? And right away you can see it show the budget of the project. But obviously I can go and add. Before that, I'm adding a B tag because I want it to be bold, and I can write down budget. And let's close the tag. And also I can add. Let's also add some space, and I can also probably add a $sign. And if I want to, I can choose more appropriate icons. So let's again choose $, and there you have it. Now it shows the budget. If I save and go back, right away you can see all the posts are the changes is reflected to all the posts. They all show the budget. And it's really
cool.
Really, really cool. Super powerful. If, for example, you have, let's say, a blog for movies, and you want to, you want to show in which year the movie came out, or to show which genre it belongs. So you're not limited to the post widget that didn't have those capabilities. Whatever your imagination, just use it and use it to your will. And I think it's really great.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for these helpful examples and insights. Now it's time for our first round of questions. And I'm sure there are many questions that we can answer, and we're going to answer. So let's start with our first live video call for today. Let's have a look. Hi, welcome to the show. What is your name and where are you videoing from?
Hi, thanks. This is Gary from Michigan.
Hi, Gary from Michigan. Welcome. Please go ahead, ask your question.
Well, first of all, thanks for the webinars. These are very, very helpful. Appreciate it. The Flexbox, the Loop, everything seems to be coming together. While I'm able to build websites and do all that, my creativity isn't sort of top level. So I really rely on the templates as sort of starters or boosters, and I share some of those looks and feels with my clients. I was curious with this powerful loop builder, and we saw a couple of examples. Can you help me understand how the template library is shaping up for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this would be a great question for you, Doron.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about it a little bit later, but since you mentioned it, so we are actually, that's what we are working in the last couple of months. We've been working really, really hard. We are preparing lots of kits. Some of the kits you already know, some of them are really new, exciting kits that will be container-based. Also, once
maybe we can already get a little sneak peek. I know we prepared it for a little bit later on, but while you're busy answering the question, maybe we can go ahead and show that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So yes, this is part of also blocks, pop-ups. All that stuff will be container-based, so it will help user to not start from scratch. And regarding the loop builder, we are waiting for version 3.9, and once it's out, it will help the kits. It will also be compatible with the import-export process of the kits, and then you will also see kits with the loop builder inside. Yeah,
All right,
so yes,
great.
you can use that.
Thank you very much, Doron. We hope that answers the question. Let's move on to the next question. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Sanity Answered on YouTube is asking, do you mean that you can replace something like ACF with the new Elementor features? We'd like to take that question.
I'll take
Please,
it.
Gabi,
Okay.
go ahead.
Does that mean you can replace ACF? So Doan showed you before where we use the native WordPress custom
Right.
fields. So if that's all you need, then yes, you can replace ACF. But if you are looking to add additional custom fields, so you're still going to need to be using ACF for that.
Right, great. We hope that answers the question. Next question, Eric Rossello on YouTube is asking, is the loop builder fully compatible with WooCommerce and used as customized product catalog? All right.
So, okay. So I think we mentioned that at the current version, no, but you already have the beta version is on the air, so you can try it out, and it does support WooCommerce. But it's beta, so try it on staging, not on a production website. But yes, it's out, and once it's released as a stable version, you should go and use that.
Okay, great, thanks. Next question, Dave on YouTube is asking, how is this any different from building a regular template?
So I'll take this one.
Yes, please, go ahead.
And I hope I'm understanding the question correctly. But when you're designing a template, you're not able to create a listing with that. So the loop builder is going to populate that template. So you're creating one made item template that then gets populated with the content.
Just repeating
exactly,
content, right.
listings. So if you have a car listing, real estate, products, and that's how I think it is different from templates.
Right, so in function and also
From the design
perspective, it offers a lot more.
Right.
All right. Okay, so we hope that answers your questions. Now, let's continue with the Flexbox Containers experiment, which is now marked as beta, meaning it's stable and ready to go. Gabi, please, can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of confusion as to what it means that Flexbox containers are an experiment. So now that they've reached beta, that means that you can confidently use them on your websites. And then also we've been showing you a lot of examples of how you can use containers. So you can use them on live websites from this stage forward. Over the last few months, we've collected a lot of different feedback from our users. And internally, we've also tested a lot of different plugins and different configurations and really tried to imagine any scenario possible to make sure that the container works as expected in every scenario. Now that it's beta, we believe that it does that, but we're obviously going to continue and improve it and add additional capabilities to the Flexbox container. So this is going to be a rolling release, and we're going to see more of it. Why is this still an experiment then? Well, Flexbox containers are a new layout structure, so some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may be familiar with it, but not familiar with how it's going to work within Elementor. So it could have a relatively long learning curve, and we want to give you the opportunity to decide when you want to activate it. At some point, we are going to be activating this by default for new websites, only new websites. And we want to make sure that before we do that, that we have completed a full suite of supporting material to go with that. So if that's tutorials, knowledge base articles, as Dolan mentioned, we were also preparing full website kits to go along with that. So we really want to make sure that everything is ready for you to have an easier transition when you're ready for it. I mentioned that it's going to be on by default for new websites. So even if you have an old website working on sections and columns, nothing is going to break with that. And also, if you decide to build a new website but you still want to use the section and column structure, you can do that by going to the experiments, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But you can deactivate it and continue working with sections and columns. We do recommend starting to make that transition because at some point we are going to start creating features that are dependent on containers. So it's important to start making that move over.
All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah, can you just remind our viewers where they can access that in experiments if they want to get started and play around with Flexbox containers?
Yeah, so it's in the same place we showed earlier. So we have the Elementor settings, in the experiment tab, I'm going to go to the Flexbox container and turn it on. I'm going to save my changes. And that's it.
All right, simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Gabi. Now, Doron, you've prepared some really cool demos for us to get a quick recap on how Flexbox containers provide real benefits when building websites. And you also have some insights to share, so please go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So as I just mentioned in the question that we had there before, we've been working really, really hard on converting our kits from sections to be container-based. So we also learned a lot in the process, and it also gives me the opportunity actually compare the same website, how it behaves when it has sections and how it behaves with containers. So I'm going to show you exactly that. And I'm not going to go over all the benefits because we already had a live show about it, but I just want to point out some really cool stuff. So here, for example, I have the old kit, and as you can see, it's section-based. And here, for example, we have, very classic team section, with 3 columns, and we have the CEO and director and so on, the team members. And I have exactly the same page here. It's the same page, only container-based. And again, 3 columns. But look what happens, for example, when I go, again, I'm jumping back to the sections, and I'm going to tablet screen size. And that's what usually happened. If you had 3 columns, you had to stay with 3 columns, or to switch to 1 column.
This is the sections.
Yeah, this is the sections. You didn't have too much freedom about that. But now let's go again. I'm jumping back to the containers. As you can see, containers have a different color, so you can differentiate. So
it's a darker blue.
It's a darker blue, exactly. So let's see what happens. I'm moving to tablet screen size, and as you can see, if I want to, I don't have to, but if I want to, I can have it in 2 columns. I simply each column, each container, I'm giving it less than 50% on the size, and there you have it. So here, for example, because the bosses wanted to have a bigger presence, so I gave them 2 columns, and the other employees have only 3 columns. Just kidding, yeah, but it's just an example. And I want to show you another thing. So here, for example, let's I'm going to jump just for the desktop view, and you can see Mira, the CEO. She's the first one. Okay?
This is now in the containers.
Yeah,
right?
I'm still using containers, and the containers example. And in tablet, she is still the first one. But when I'm going to mobile, she's not the last one. She's not the first one. She's somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. So you remember in sections when we had 3 columns, I could only, if I wanted to change the order, I could only reverse the order. So she would be all the first or the last. And here she's in the middle. Why? Because I want to. I can, so I'm doing it.
So you can take each individual element and you can give them their own...
I can give each element, each container, and each element inside the container could be in a different order when I'm moving from screen size to screen size. So for example, I could also change the order inside the container because it's really powerful features.
Really flexible.
Very flexible. It's the Flexbox container, yeah. So it is what it is. And just another really cool feature is here, for example, when I'm still on mobile screen size, as you can see, but I'm just widening the screen, and boom, I'm having again 2 columns. Why? Because I'm using the Flex Go features. It's here on the Advanced tab, the Flex Go widget feature. So what it does is it uses the Flex Go. It grows to the maximum size that it can grow as long as it have enough space to be on 100%. And once it doesn't have enough space because I gave it a certain size, it will accommodate another column beside. So it's really, as you can see, it's really cool because I'm saving, instead of using an additional breakpoint, I can, if I'm using this feature and some more features of the containers,
right.
It's not about just optimizing and use less divs, it's also optimizing using less breaking points if you work correctly.
So this is better responsive behavior?
Better responsive behavior, and also less of loading time because I'm not using additional breakpoints. So really powerful. And Another thing that I want to show is actually how we done that, how we converted those kits to be container based. So as you can see, I have a section inside. So as you can, I'm in a site that using container. I can still have a sections. It's not breaking sections if you once you turn on the experiment, and you can convert them if you want to. You can create new ones using containers. So here, for example, I just want to show how we did it, how we converted kits. So it's pretty straightforward. I have a convert button, and I'm pressing it. And as you can see, I have a little notice that the changes have been updated, and it doesn't delete the section. It simply creates a duplicate of the content, but container-based. So you can compare, you can tweak it if you want to. You don't have to be worried that it will delete the section. Once you're happy with it, you can go and delete it. So as you can see, right out of the box, it works pretty well. It looks the same, but I have to point out that the converter is it's simply what it does. It converts one to one, like simply using the same settings. So it's not always fully optimized. For example, again, I'm now touching the section-based section. And if I'm looking at the advanced tab of each column, you can see I have some margins here. And actually, when we used section, that was the way to create those gaps. You could use padding or margins to control those gaps, but we had to go to each, as you can see, I'm going from column to column, and I had to put those margins very manually to each column. So this is what the converter do. He duplicates those settings, and it's okay. It is working. It looks as it should, but it's not the optimized way to do that. So I want to show you what we did when we converted all those kits. We obviously wanted them to be fully optimized. So I'm going to go to each column and reset it. And so you can see the better way to use containers, the best practice, I think. So I'm just moving from one column to another and removing those margins. There you have it. And now I'm choosing the parent container and going to, as you can see, we have gap between elements. So I'm just adding a gap. Let's go with 50. And you can see I'm having the same gap, almost the same gap again, and I can obviously, can check and see what the amount is, but I'm just choosing 50. But the point is, I don't have to go to each column individually. I can controlling the gap for just one place very easily, much more accurate. And obviously, if I want to have the same zigzag look, so I can, again, I will choose the parent container and give it some more height. So let's type down, I think 700 will do. So now, as you can see, it has more height. And I can simply choose the ones that I want to align, the containers that I want to align to the bottom, and go to the advanced tab and align self end or bottom. And let's do it again for this container. And there you have it. It's the same, exactly the same look, but much more, let's say, smarter and accurate and easy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, easy to manipulate.
Thank you very much, Doron. This is really, really great. And talking about, well, we already showed the kits before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe we can show them again quickly, and you can maybe talk just a little bit more about the kits, if you want.
Yeah, so that's, and I don't have much more to mention, just that what we were doing in the last few months. We're going from kits, all the kits that you know and like, as much as possible, we try to convert them to use containers, to be container-based, and tweak them to be optimized, and also blocks and pop-ups and so on. And also, I just want to mention, you can even further optimize this. You can remove redundant containers that you have, and when the converter is converting, sometimes it creates redundant containers. You can see in our documentation, we are working, like Gabi mentioned, we are working on very extensive the commentary on the Elementor Academy. So
so visit the Elementor Academy, and there's a lot of talks over that will help you out. Thank you very much, Dawn, for showing us and giving us some insights into that. It's very, very interesting. And as you showed us, within a couple of clicks, you already can, get a feeling of using the convert button. So thank you very much for that.
Sure.
And now that we're also talking about kits, Elementor 3.8 also introduces the new remove kit feature. So Gabi, can you please give us just a little bit of background? Sorry about that. Some background.
Yeah, so the remove kit is a very straightforward feature. What happens when you download a kit? So when you download a kit, you get the pages, you get the posts, the media files, and the global styles. So if you decided you wanted to use a different kit, you would either have to undo all that manually, delete the media files, the pages and posts that came along with that, or restore your website to a previous version. And with this update, you can just click remove a kit, and it will automatically remove your media files, the pages, the posts, everything that came with the kit, and restore it to its previous state. This is only available for kits downloaded after the latest Elementor version was downloaded.
Right.
And then once you click the remove a kit, because it deletes everything, if you've made any changes to content on one of the pages or posts that came with the kit directly, those are going to be deleted as well. So we do recommend that if you create content that you want to carry over to as you remove the kit, just to take that content out and add it to a new page or post. And then new pages or posts that are not part of the kit will not be deleted when you click the remove a kit button.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Gabi. Doron, can you give us a demo of using that remove kit option?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so again, I'm using the same kit from the previous examples, and I really like that kit. But let's remove it. But before we remove it, I just want to show you that I'm in this website that I use for examples. Obviously, I tried multiple kits. So here in the WordPress dashboard, you can see I have many pages. And in the posts, I have many posts. I have many posts because I have multiple kits here. So let's see what happens. So let's say I'm on WordPress dashboard. So if you're not sure where it is, you can go to Elementor, Tools, and Import Export tab. And down on the bottom, you'll see the remove the most recent kits option. And it states digital, you can see remove all the content and the site setting that came with Digital Marketing Studio, and it states when it was installed. It also will state which, if you have multiple kits like in my case, you will also show to which kit it will be reverting to. And let's do that. Let's simply press the button, and it's pretty straightforward. It also obviously it will confirm with you that you are absolutely sure that you want to do that. I'm going to press yes, and it really takes like split a second, and that's it. It's already happened. So now I go to the posts, I refresh the page. You can see I have less posts because all the posts that were related to that kit were deleted. Same thing with the pages. And if I go to the front of the website, obviously I'm going to see a completely different website because it's now reverted to the older kit they had. But as you can see, the logo didn't change because I did that manually. It wasn't kit related. Also, the favicon didn't go away because I put it manually. So that's about it.
Very cool. And if you create your own kits and you use the import export feature, then you can also just use the revert kit feature, right?
Exactly. As long as you did it, like Gabi mentioned, as long as you did it after the 3.8 installation, upgrading, so it will work.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Doron and Gabi. Thank you. Now, as you might have noticed, Elementor and Elementor Pro 3.8, they are both available at the same time, meaning you get both version updates together. And this is part of a new process that we are implementing to improve and accelerate our releases. And you can read more about that in our dedicated blog post, and I'll leave a link in the description of the event. All right. Well, we are nearing the end of this event, so it's now time for our final round of questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got. All right. Laura Tyndall from Facebook is asking, do these new features affect speed? Gabi, would you like to answer that?
Sure. So this update specifically doesn't come with dedicated performance improvements. That being said, working with containers does improve performance tremendously. Also using the loop builder and not having to use additional plugins necessarily is going to improve the performance and speed of your website. So I guess the answer is yes.
Right. And also if you use Flexbox Container wisely, as Doron mentioned as well, that will help out.
Just want to point out also about, we mentioned the 3.9 beta that is about to come out. And the beta is already, you can already try it out. So the beta, I think, also have some new experiments for lazy loading. So also sure you have to check it out. It's really cool and it really improves page load. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And Gabby's written also on that. We can see that in the social media as well about that. If you're interested, you can learn more about that. So we hope that answers the question. All right, next question. Ria Vistas on YouTube is asking, hey, is there a way, is there a way to auto-convert all existing sections in your website to containers rather than go in each section one by one?
Yeah, so at the moment, no, but I think I probably wouldn't want to do that because the converter, again, like we mentioned, it doesn't do fully optimized converting, and you probably want to go one by one and check them. So we at the moment you can if you're talking about a page, you can go to the page cog wheel, and you there have an
global
option.
Settings.
Yeah, no. Each page you can go to the page settings, and you will see an option to convert all the page at once. So it's faster, but I'll still recommend go over it, see that nothing broke, because converters still behave a little bit different. So you can do it per page or per section, but not the whole website.
Okay, and we also, as you said, getting used to it. It's very important that we do it gradually, and so this is also part of that. So I hope that answers the question. Next question, Peter is asking, what is the optimal number of containers to have on a page or area?
Well, it really, I don't think there's like a magic number that we can say just use 3 or just use 4. It really depends. It depends on the design and the layout. Some layouts can be really, for example, in a header that has a logo and a menu, you can use just one, obviously one container, and use the space between option in the justification, but it's like one example. So it really depends on which layout you're having, how many elements, what the way you want to place them. So there's no magic number that I can state. But again, I will refer you to the Academy. We have there actually many examples exactly for those kind of questions. So you should check that. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's move on to our next question, which is a video call. We've got a video call. Anthony from the USA. Welcome to the show. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, thank you for having me. My question is simple. It's more for the loop builder. So I was wondering if there's like a hover function to allow, like, for example, to show a button when you hover over a card that you made from a loop builder. Does it have that capability?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. That's a very good question. Doron, can you perhaps answer that? Maybe show?
Yeah, let's simply show that. If they are showing my screen, I'm not sure.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously you can drag a button. This is really the power of the loop builder. In the simple loops and in the old post widget, you had a really simple button. But now you can drag any button and style it whatever you like to style it. You can do it. Yeah.
And also, if you want, you can create the loop. You can just drag in a CTA widget and set that on hover.
Yeah.
And you can also set a whole, because if you're using Flexbox containers, you can set to be a link basically and have that have an effect. So there's a lot of things we can do to get that effect.
Yeah.
And then once you save it, of course, that will be repeated everywhere. So make sure that if you set that link, that link that you set is also set to be a dynamic link. Thank you very much, Anthony. And that was the last question for today. So we hope that it answers all of your questions. And now it's time for the raffle. So first off, thank you very much for the amazing participation. There really were many questions, so thank you for that. And now the only question that remains is who's going to get the $100 gift card? Ready? All right. And the winner is The winner is, let's have a look. The winner is D. Lucas. Congratulations, D. Lucas. Please contact us via live@elementor.com so we can give it to you. That's live, L-I-V-E. You can see it on the screen at elementor.com. And that's it. Our Elementor 3.8 live show event has come to an end. So thank you for joining. And we hope that we answered many of your burning questions and you feel confident in working with these new features to continue creating the best websites in the galaxy. Now, let's give a big round of applause to Gabby and Doron, who really did a great job. Well done. And we really hope that you enjoyed as much as we did and you learned something new. And as always, there we go. We've got an applause. Thank you very much. It's very important to know that this show really is for you. So please answer our short survey. I'll leave it in the event notes as well, so we can get your feedback and make it even better. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Gabi and Doron. And ciao for now.